3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, that's it. So the theme of this course is nouns and how nouns were created originally, and the few ideas that we're going to implement in this whole process. And I will explain more about this as we get along. How we end up getting nouns in Lushootseed. There are two ways. There's just two groups. One is descriptive. You describe what's going on and you proceed with that information on what's going on, right? Or you mimic the sound that it's making. So in that instance, the best one to talk about is ocean. Holch. Now, you can hear it. Actually, you can listen, stop and listen, go down to the water, and then as it's coming ashore, it's going Holch. Holch. And you'll hear that in the sound in and how we mimicked that sound of the ocean. Or you hear it in the word for crow, which is ka ka. You get a bunch of crows together, that's all they do is go ka 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 ka. So we mimic the sound on what it makes. So in this instance, I took that example for gun, and if you look up gun inside the dictionary, you'll come up with a bunch of different words for gun, but they don't say what they are. And we have a very, very well put together dictionary, but it doesn't say what they are. So it just says gun, and it has like a bunch of different things on there. So when you hear, you get your ears, you grab a double barrel shotgun. Solly is two, and then the sound when it clicks together, Solly, right? So the sound of the breech opening or closing, it's just a cuss, Solly, cuss. So there's two, double barrel, right? So thinking about that. And then also thinking about how the semi-automatics go. So if you know any semi-automatic weapons, it has 3 actions. The first action is the pullback, and then the release. Then it's kind of ready to fire. But yeah, it's it 2 actions to get the thing primed and ready to go. It's not like solid cuss where it's just click and it's ready to fire, right? This one you got to load a round in. So you put the clip in and then you load the round in by pulling the hammer back, then releasing the hammer. So in this instance, when you grab the top of like a 9mm or the like the top round ones, or even the side pull auto semi-automatic rifles, you'll hear d chas cuss, right? D cha cuss, right? Because the sounds that it's making when you're pulling on the thing. So you'll get that what it sounds like, right? Or you get the descriptions. So you're describing what it sounds like, or you're describing on what it looks like. So the look is solid cuss. Solid is the part where you see the 2, and then the cuss is the sound. Or you do the whole action of the sound, right? And snow up here, because it sounds different everywhere you go. I'm pretty sure Southern Lushootseed closer towards the water, it has a different name, but quote, quote. Up here, if you walk on the ground, it's quote, quote. It's the sound quote, quote as your footsteps hit the thing. So again, it's more listening to what it sounds like than the other stuff. And okay, so the descriptive part, I am going to get to that here. I think it is in the other one. So for describing on what it is, right? So the fun part on describing on how things are described. The other fun part is with wordplay. So you come in here, you click on what did you drink today? And then we have a word called shaking cow. So shaking cow is for milkshake. So what do they do when they have a milkshake? They put fruit and whatever they want on the inside. They get milk in there and they put ice in there, and then it gets shaken up. So the thing gets blended in. So the ancestors up here, they call it shaking cow or a milkshake. Zako Quist. So Zak was part of the shake, the uncontrollable shake. And Quist is cow, and all quote is the by means of drinking, right? So you're uncontrollable cow that's drinkable. So you describe on what the thing is, and yeah, just like frozen drinks, I'll quote, I'll quote, right? They're just cold, like really cold. Skabo milk, the word for soda pop, ball quote, ball quote. It's the sound that you're hearing in the can as it's as you're pouring it out. Or you describe the action on what you're doing. And again, this is more descriptive for Slurpee. Shoot means to slurp, but we use it also for Slurpee because you sip on Slurpees, you don't guzzle. So those are the primary ways on how to have nouns in this world. Either listen to it and mimic the sound that it's making, and if you cannot mimic the sound that it's making, then describe what it's doing or what it looks like shaking cow. It's pretty funny because that whole can shakes when it's getting made.
That's one of my favorite ones. Shaking cow.
Zak Quisto quote. I don't think it's all quote. I mean, Zako Quist is, I think, was what Norma keeps saying. But Zap. So the DZ Zak Quist. So those are the ways to describe things. And we will get into all the nouns this time around. We are going to kind of use some of these wordings, but we're not going to focus in on the sentence itself this time around. If you would like more information on these, we have plenty of classes online that go over these. This is the first time somebody really requested to go over all the nouns that we have. Oh, That's right. The other one, where you can get a descriptive and it'll help you out, is if you click on the kitchen and then go with I go with table domain. Everything that has to do with a table when you're sitting out the table, it has the actions here, but it also have the descriptive words on the nouns here. So again, with spoon or ladle, shocks. When you're hearing the spoon go into like a soup, you'll hear shocks, shocks in going into the soup. And stoog, right? Action of cutting, right? Stoog. Um, I think it's just the name. It doesn't have the action or sound to it. I think they described it. But Tsakadisabud, Tsakdisbud, right? Tsakdisbud. For fork. Now cup is another one. Sup, by means of ko qua. So ko is the word for water. Qua is to kind of drink the thing. In this, I think it's this one. Well, by means of drinking anyway. Or we borrowed words. It's okay to have borrowed words. Table, just table, just indigenized as saying. The other word is latab. That's also in our dictionary. If you know French at all, latab is table, right? That's also in there. Also table. Um, Chair, guadil, sit. Either going from a laying down position to sitting up, or going from a standing position to a sitting position. That is the action of sitting. So sup is by means of sitting. So you can sit at the place of by means of sitting. And also with the word for pan, so tzich alek. You can really hear this tzich, tzich. If you get a really hot pan on and you put some butter or water on there, and it'll go tzich, tzich, as it's going on the while the butter is either evaporating or whatever butter does on there. Then all lick is just on our end. Parent.
It's in. I think it's
In. Right.
something else. I can't put that into. It's an on tout, toutism.
On.
Yeah.
So by means of melting butter on. I don't know. It doesn't have to be that, but whatever. We'll go with it. Order space made changes. Okay, that's fine. These things you can make changes as you want on the teams if you want.
I don't know why it did that.
It's fine. It does say it on all of them. Even if you print off from it, it says you made changes.
Yeah, okay.
Don't be in a hurry. Don't be worried about that. I'm like, yeah, she can make changes. It's
I
fine.
just highlighted it as, I think is all I really did.
Don't be worried. It's all good. So let's see here. Let's see some other fun nouns that we can use daily. Supplel, bread, flour, Sakwashalik for toaster, lachada. So as you see here on one, the fourth one down, it says lachada. I'll do a little bit of drawing here. Lachad, right, is to turn on, off. Off equals and then. So that's what you're thinking. So Doug was off, Chud T Saplel all to Sa Kwashalik. I put the bread in the toaster. Lachad off. Turned on, and then I Sa Kwashalik. Turned on the toaster. Right? So I put the bread in the toaster and then I turned on the toaster. Right? Yeah,
We are.
So we're just working on nouns and describing some nouns on how we describe nouns or we mimic the sound of the nouns. And then I was just pointing out how lachada, lachad is the word to turn on, and then the off is just the end then from the last sentence. It says a bunch of ones on it.
Second. I didn't know that that would do that.
Modified by?
Yeah, I see. I'm not the only one.
No, you're not. Katie and them get in there eventually. Oh, if you guys want access to this, send me a message. I'm pretty sure I edited this, but if you need this team link, go ahead and shoot me an email and I'll send you this team link so you can get access to this shared file through Microsoft Teams. This is going to be the fall Lushootseed classes. Here is where we can do little group texts if you want. And here's where you will find the classes themselves. I don't know why fixing the bed got put here, but all right. Mary?
I didn't know it was going to go on there. I really didn't know it was going to go on there.
So there's kind of homework. Alphabetic order in Lushootseed. It's kind of like how our alphabet works. I would suggest to get to learn these and the different sounds. This is not like the best way to learn this part, but that's just what our alphabet looks like. We're borrowing that from a different thing. Because we're not doing the domains and or conversation time, this is kind of not a thing, but if you want to, you can put your name and what level you're trying to do, which nest you have, and where's your nest at. But instead of writing the domain, go over your nouns and then how many nouns you know off the top of your head. And yeah, you can go on for a while, print out a couple of them. Because our focus this term is nouns. They wanted to help out with nouns. Our self-study form, again, this is supposed to be for how long you can talk in language, have a conversation, or brushing your teeth, or other fun stuff. Again, this will be helpful to keep track of your time. Not really needed this term. A lot of that's not needed this term. But most of the things that you'll look into, if you go into the doc itself, I've went through line by line in the dictionary and pulled out anything that had to deal with drinking or eating or buying or talking to. And then you'll find all of that at the bottom of the pages with the nouns and verbs. Acid, which is food. You're nouning the action. So acid is eat, and acid is food. So the action of eating is now the word for food. Of course, you got the word for meat. Biots, Otzi, I think. Otzi is how you use the meat of something. So salad, Otzi is the meat of fish. Skagwits, Otzi is the meat of deer. If you're going to be Queest Otzi or Kashu Otzi or Squalub Otzi. Squalub, I believe, is the word for grouse.
Oh, grouse.
But we use it for chicken. Because they're Indian chicken. The word for nut is chapoch. Apoch. Sorry, not the apoch. Again, it's mimicking the sound that when you're eating the thing is how I see that one. So I ended up looking up most of these. But I did come up with some of my own. So there are some ones I would like to talk about. Dal Ishid. You'll see this Dal Ishid. Dal Ishid. Dal Ishid. And I think this one was actually in the dictionary, and it did say dried food. Sweet food. The smoked meat that was in there. Oh, this is the one I definitely made. Shug Dalisha, road food. So if you travel a lot, you'll find out that there's like, especially traveling with kids. Kids are always saying, "Oh, I want a snack. Oh, I want something to drink." And then if you're broke enough, you'll make peanut butter jelly sandwiches and have like a little cooler for like all the drinks for the kids. That's road food. That's shug dalished. Mm-hmm. Just food you bring on while you're driving for a long time. And where I derive from that, which is the Chinese food, uh, the dalished, it actually does say Chinese dalished for Chinese food. I don't mean to be um, racist here. I'm just saying this is what was written in our dictionary. It could be Asian food in general, just so we can have a general populace of the food. And I think the words came from Chinese slippers, um, but I'm not entirely certain the history of this part. Apparently, somebody bought Chinese slippers a long time ago because that's in our dictionary is Chinese slippers. There is no order in this thing. So this part was interesting and fun, and seeing if I could buy it. When I was going through the dictionary from cover to cover, I was like, "Is there a way to buy this thing?" And apparently, it's a different thing. And it turned out that there's Chinese slippers, by the way. Again, this is I'm not trying to be racist here. This is just what's in our dictionary. This is how we described it, and if you want, we can change it out, or you can change it out if you get access to this. Sandwich and sandwich.
There's just certain kind of these Chinese slippers that have like a toe. There's certain kinds of, I wonder if it's, if this is describing that one. There's a, because Ermina used to get them. They're Chinese. They're like a silk slipper with just the big toe, and then
The angle toe, the
just
pointy
a
toe.
just one toe, and then the rest just like a sock.
Huh.
I wonder if it's that one that this is describing.
I have no idea. I didn't even know there was actual Chinese slippers. I thought they were just like the little leather thing with the silk on it. I didn't know anything about it.
There's another kind. There's another kind of Chinese call it tabby, I think, and they just got one toe, and it looks kind of like a sock, but it's made out of silk, and it has one toe. And then just in the dictionary, right after the Chinese, it says Chinese, and then it says Chinese slipper. Right after that, it says Chinook jargon. So it's not really, I don't think it's really, it's just describing how they describe it, I guess.
Huh.
I don't think it's racial. There are a certain kind of Chinese slippers that have a toe. Ermina used to get them. She would know.
Huh. Yeah, I would think the more about the Chinese food itself is more racially thing because it's more, let's go Asian food instead of Chinese. But
Yeah, I noticed they have the Asian fusion and Asian restaurants.
right.
So maybe
Because I could go to a ramen shop. Ramen is not really Chinese food.
no, it's
Especially a ramen soup base with pork cutlets and
oh yum.
or we go to a pho shop and then our pho,
Yeah,
however you want to call it. I think it's pho, is
Yeah.
how I heard it.
yeah.
If you go to a pho shop, that's definitely not Chinese. So,
It's Vietnamese.
yeah, it's Vietnamese.
So there's different kinds of Asian food.
Yeah.
So
That's where I'm all like, how do we call that stuff? Should we just keep using Chinese dolly food that seem kind of racist? Again, this is a time for us to talk about this kind of stuff. If we don't know what we're going to be using and how we're going to be using it, then we can always talk about it. Just like all those different pantses there.
but yeah, it's important to talk about it because they say in my other Lushootseed class is that Lushootseed is alive. It's alive, and that means we have to take on other descriptive words to add to our vocabulary of Lushootseed. So in class is a good time to bring all this up because then we can think about all these and try to collaborate how we can describe these other things. Because Asian is more like a today's description of Chinese type food. They're specifying, so we get to
And this is where I have a problem because what is in the continent of Asia?
yeah.
Russian is actually
Russian,
Indian,
Mongolian.
Pakistan, Mongolia, Afghanistan.
Yeah.
All these other places are in Asia, but when we say Asian food, we really think about Chinese, Japanese, Taiwan, the Philippines. Lumpia is awesome. I love lumpia, but that's all grouped up into Asian. It doesn't talk about the Russian food or the Pakistan or India food or Afghanistan food. Doesn't talk about that stuff when you say Asian food.
Yeah. Yeah. There's Mongolian restaurants too.
Yeah. They lump that into Asian food.
Asia. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, just a brain teaser now, I guess.
Yeah. Something to think about.
Something to think about.
About Lushootseed.
So when I was thinking bulk, I was thinking about hotels and how we keep buying for hotels rooms, especially for those people who have to do our tribal council leaders who are always buying stuff like that. And because we're supposed to be having a class with the tribal council, I started thinking on how a camp would work, or the camp away from home. So I was like, that might be the word for our hotel room, because they're at a camp in a group area that they're with all the other Indians that are there. So that could be a camp away from home. And so I just remarked some of these for what we're using now. Right. I don't know. Just thinking about stuff. All right, with that being said, we got 2 minutes left. Comments, concerns, questions. How's it going, Angela?
Aha. It's Chalcha.
E2.
Oh, that's a duh. Okay.
New Bibida,
Oh, slow, eh?
August 13th.
Ooh, how's tea? It's cho elabi chad.
Hey. So it's joyful. I don't get sleep.
What estás tad bibera?
Oh, you're asking the name, right?
Eh,
Yeah. Sorry, I am tired. Oh, we named her Akane.
Akane. Tolo. Tis what you've told us on Chugwas.
Yeah. Wait.
Great.
Japan. This is Japan people.
Oh, how's tea?
We use the word for red paint in Japanese. Now it has other meaning too. It's like supposed to be for like courage and other things. And yeah,
Globe.
just like our little thunder, Jiraiya. Family gets too up here. Our family gets too name picky about which name you're gonna pick them.
Eh. All right, well, ta-da.
Right.
That's awesome news. Hot sets up. Good news. So everything's going well. You've got everything on. I got a late start. So I'm not starting my classes until next month.
Ooh. Are you doing online too?
Okay.
Nice.
I'm glad your classes are a lot earlier. So I think that last year matched up with mine somewhat. So I was like, okay, yeah. But it's nice to be able to check in with one another and see what we're working on, what we're doing. So with me having a bunch of nouns on the website, the things that we work on and in class, being able to put the sentence structures together. And I still have folks who are reaching out for extra nouns and keep on trying to point them back to that website. Sure, it may not make sense to other folks in Lushootseed land, but we are one person, right? You're the only instructor. I'm the only instructor. So it makes it difficult. And so for me to work on a certain whatever I choose as far as sentence structure goes, directing them, like I'm saying, to the website, but them also remembering instead of just continuing to reach out is another thing. So having that instruction in class, them being able to expand their vocabulary if they have the drive to do so is important to me.
Yeah, this is the first time I'm doing the noun class. I'm just kind of winging it this time. I'll have more structure later, but we're going to be doing nouns all the way up until November. And we're just going to try to build our noun list so that when later on we can start using the full sentences together and then start using the domains easier. Hopefully this works. Kind of focus it on per domain class slash conversation part.
Well, one of the things from, because I had 2 main group classes and then I taught personal, beyond that. And then of course, research always is involved, plus the hour learning on top of that,
Right.
making time for hour learning. And so when I seen the email that Oswald is having a class, I had emailed Ginger. She hasn't gotten back to me yet. I said, even though I'm this far into Lushootseed, me going backward and starting from ground zero, seeing how the instruction's going, seeing the progress of students on that end, I think it would be beneficial for me. I mean, here I've been teaching since 2007, learning since 2006. So for me to go all the way back, I feel it's important to me. So I'd like to be in Uspoli's class. One of the biggest things that's like what you had brought up is this is our alphabet. Okay. So for these new folks, I don't know if you have an alphabet put together. I decided just to use Zeke's, even though I have made an alphabet. When you were still working with us, I don't know if you remember the great computer crash that I had after. Yeah. So it took all of my information. I've had to rebuild some of it because not everything was on our servers, which made it really difficult for me to gauge exactly where I was because, with the hospitalization from the blood clots and me trying to remember where I was and just mayhem, mortal mayhem. So anyhow, as far as my established students that I have, they're great with the alphabet. They can read, and I can't say necessarily right. I mean, Lushootseed, is it an A? Is it a schwa? What do I put in here? Where does the glottal go? Right. And explaining to folks that where that glottal goes when you're pronouncing things correctly. Until you are pronouncing things correctly, you don't know. So having that, being able to, like when I logged in, when you said, we are, knowing that break is in there, that glottal stop is after the I, right? Simple, yet very complex. Another thing is the brand new groups that I have, I decided to go over the alphabet with them because they're like, I love this. So all year we'd start with, singing. We'd sing a song, very simple song. Uspoli's welcome song. We us, we us, we us. The kids love it. And then we go into the alphabet. And so every single time they're working on the alphabet, they're hearing it, they're saying it, they're seeing all of those nouns that go along with the alphabet. I mean, come on. How many times a day are you going to say baloops?
Right.
Maybe not that many, but you know, that impact in your brain to be able to visually see it, say it, and when you actually do see a baloops, be like, oh, baloops, right? So
Right.
that's where that association goes. And I could never get too much alphabet. Never, never, never. You know, so start from scratch. Start from scratch, especially since you're taking your time. It's not like working at the university level where it's like when folks are coming in, bam, 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 this is what we got. So anyway, just saying that it's okay. It's okay to go over the alphabet a billion times.
I do.
Yeah.
I try to all the time.
Yeah. Well, you know, after the other thing is that I tell my students, especially, you know, us older folks that learn how to, you know, ride a bicycle, drive a vehicle. When we first get in there, we've got to memorize where all of these parts are: the blinker, the gear shifter, when you love music, how to turn it up and change the channels, right? And it's the same with our mouth. So once we've learned where each thing goes, because we can't see. When you're driving and you're taking your time to go and look at things, what's going to happen? 50-50, accident or not, right?
Right.
So as we're learning how to speak our language, it takes time to develop those muscles, that reaction time from going from the gas pedal to the brake, right? It's the same with these glottal stops in our face. You know, it's like, okay, being able to block off the sounds in our throat, being able to figure out where the placement of our tongue should be. So like, you know, before it was 10 and 2, now they're like, grab the bottom, that way your, you know, hand don't get broken in there. I mean, just the wildest stuff. So thinking about going over the alphabet, mastering each sound, and what's awesome is each word's different. Each word's different. So being able to figure out exactly the placement of your tongue, then that's why I'm like, you know, the alphabet is so important to just keep on going over those sounds, be able to train your tongue, your throat, your breath, everything that's associated with being able to speak. All right, well, you folks take care. And I think I seen it's just Monday and Wednesday for class.
Yeah. I'm focusing in on my studies. I only got 15 credits left to graduate, so I'm so close. So I want to focus more my personal time on getting that A and finishing up, and then transferring off.
Awesome. Well, hey, you're doing it. You haven't stopped. It's fabulous. And you already seen what happened with Virginia Beaver, right? Yeah, it's never too late. Never too late. So congratulations. That's fabulous. All right. Well, I got this. Miss Ginger got me this last year. I know I'm going to need a new one. Yesterday was quite busy, and today this is already, I've got quite, you know, list of different things. And I'm going back, I'm like, oh, I forgot about that. So thank goodness for this. Anyway, Lushootseed chat. Boy.
Kibbo, what's up?